High school romance, drama, solidarity. Where could you find this more in the amazing series of Chihayafuru, Season 2. I'm Minty.
And I'm Annie. I don't know anything about any sports anime.
Yeah, you should watch more sports anime, especially Haikyuu.
Not my cup of tea and you know it.
You like Haikyuu.
Move on.
You like Crocodile basketball. So, real quick recap of Season 1. Chihaya is a girl who became obsessed with Karafura, which is a Japanese card game, after playing it with a transfer student named Arata and her childhood best friend Taichi. But now that she's in high school, the transfer student already had moved back and is playing in
Fukuodani.
I think Fukui. You know Haikyuu. You know Haikyuu references. Which would be Tokyo, which is not true because she's in Tokyo. So she starts up a club with Taichi and a girl named Kanade who is in love with the poem. Forky, who has been playing this since he was a kid. I believe he's been playing even longer than Chihaya. And Tsutomu, who's just this kid who wants to be really smart and good at memorizing. So they started this club. It's past their first year and it ends with the fact the club needs 5 new members to join or they'll lose their storage house, which is like this far off club space that no one uses.
Don't worry, I saw Mob Psycho. I know how the Japan club system works.
That was different. This storage room was in the school. This one is like if you had an outhouse where a nice place was, and that's where you played Karuta.
Oh, kind of like where they put the classroom in Assassination Classroom?
Yeah.
In the shithole.
Like, I think it's like 2 floors, but like 1 or 2 rooms. And so what do? They have like this school assembly that like introduces the club, and they put up the 2 pretty people up, and it's like, you guys are still too pretty for this series. Like, it's incredibly hard to watch. And the show acknowledges it. And so they actually get like 20 people to sign up. And because they all like Taichi, because Taichi's the beautiful boy. He's the leader of the Digimon.
I got the joke. That's why Minty looked at my face and I was like, yes, a Digimon reference. This is how you keep the attention of the non-sports fan, by putting in Digimon. There's a debate if Digimon Season 3 is actually a card game anime. The answer is no.
The answer is no.
No, like they have it maybe a few times in the beginning and then they forget the gimmick.
I do kind of wish they kept that. That made it like unique, because I mean, them going to the digital world is kind of like whatever, and them being like on the edgiest side is also whatever, but having the cards made it kind of cool.
Especially when Venomon had the furry card activated. Ugh.
She was just jailbait for everybody.
No, but to be fair, only Terriermon really used those cards for new guns.
See, that was cool. I also wish, what is it, Takuya? He's either Takuya or like...
I think he's Takuma.
Takuma? Takuma?
No, you know, I think you're right. I think the Season 4 boy is Takuma because I think they made a Akuma reference.
Oh,
so this is Takuya.
I wish he drew things for Guillemon.
Yeah.
I think he's drawn one thing, but made him turn evil and then he kind of stopped.
Like, just get good at drawing, my dude, and then your Digimon won't turn evil.
And don't have impure thoughts. Anyway,
how did 20 members join, but every time I watch you watch this anime, I see only Shitling 1 and 2 join?
Well, so what happened was like they joined and then they like immediately dropped out because the 5 original members were like very strict, right? Because they worked very hard to get to nationals and they want to go to nationals again. But these people who joined didn't join because they wanted to play Karuta. They only wanted to join because they wanted to be next to Taichi, because it's literally 20 girls joined.
They joined with the dicks when they should have joined with the hearts.
Exactly. Although we say that, but the one girl that stays, she annoys the fuck out of me. She almost ruins the show for me. I really like the show. Her name is Hanano. She breaks up with her boyfriend and she's like, okay, to get revenge on him, I'm gonna go date like the hottest guy in school. And that's Taichi, who I saw at the club assembly. And I'm like, okay, so you're like, now her character is that she's in love with Taichi, but the reasoning is so shallow that it's like you don't root for her at all. Which I guess is kind of fair to say, because you would never root for her anyways, because you would either ship Taichi with Chihaya. Although I guess if you ship Chihaya with Arata, then you could have technically shipped Taichi with Hanano, but her liking him is so shallow that it's like, you're ruining the sanctuary of this show. You're the reason why Guillemon went evil.
I feel like shoujos never really do the unrequited love correctly. It always ends up really bad or starts off really bad.
That's true.
Because shoujo is like so cringy watching the Taylor Lautner, the group, just be like, hey guys, can I third wheel here? Maybe I'll end up with the female protagonist. Huh? And you're like, no, get out of here, Taylor Lautner. You're just imprinting on my daughter.
Dude, don't bring that up. That shit is so like gross. Ugh.
Okay, but so Shitling Haruno 1 is joining for very shallow. I see scenes of her being like, I'm so in love with Taichi. And now you're telling me it's completely shallow. I'm just like out of it.
No, yeah, she has like these very because she's a very emotional girl. She wears her heart on her sleeves. When she sees that Taichi is in love with Chihaya, it hurts her so badly. But it's like, girl, you only like him because he's pretty.
I ship Haruno. Is that her name?
Hanano.
Hanano. I'm thinking of Sakura.
And I was like, heart? Oh, it is. Yeah.
I ship Hanano with the shitling number 2 who does the little tongue flicks.
Okay, so his name is Sukuma, and he actually does like Karuta. However, he plays the Hokkaido style, which only deals with the second verse. So technically, he only knows 50% of the poems.
Second verse, same as the first. You only need to know 50.
That's his motto. That's why he doesn't learn.
And he does a lot really physical contact sports, right? He bangs the ground.
It's been a little bit of a while since I've seen season 2. I don't think so. I think he is annoying, especially with his facial expressions. Stop that. Annie's doing the whole tongue flicky thing, and I don't like it.
See, what you have to understand is that when Minty watches Chihayafuru, Annie has to go in the cage. But sometimes Annie comes out of the cage and watch glimpses of the anime.
And he crawls out there's nothing to watch. I'm so desperate. I'll watch this stupid Japanese card game. Sees it. I'm going back to the cage.
I'm going back in the cage with Michelangelo.
Jesus.
It's a supernatural reference.
Oh. I don't know. I was thinking you're gonna go paint the 16th chapel.
Didn't he hate painting it, so that's why he put a lot of dicks?
I thought he had to keep repainting it. So that's why if you look at it, it actually has layers of paint on it.
Oh.
We could both be wrong.
Yeah. Both
incredibly art savvy smart.
Okay, so we got to 2 shitlings. Do they play any role in the story?
The only roles that these two really play, I would say, is that the team plays more strategically in that they let them play in beginning rounds of tournaments to give them experience, but also okay, the beginning rounds are usually against weaker people and they can afford 1 loss because they only need 3 out of 5 wins. So they do a high school tournament. They let Hanano play the first round. They let Tsukuma play the second round. And it's basically determining who gets to go to nationals. And actually, Hokuo, the big rival in season 1, they actually won, but they did the Haikyuu thing where Tokyo has so many schools that they decided to send 2 representatives from Tokyo to nationals. Which I'm like, how big is Tokyo?
And how did you not plan this from the beginning?
I don't know. And so you're gonna tell me season 1 it only had to be 1, then season 2? Well, let's make it 2 out of convenience.
I'm just saying, if you know Tokyo is this big, you should plan, tell everyone, hey, 2 people be able to go to nationals. We don't have to have these finals when we make 2 people fight each other.
Well, it's interesting because in Haikyuu, they knew that the 2 was gonna go from Tokyo, but they still had them fight. In Haikyuu, they had it that first representative, this is the team that's most likely to win, and then the second, which is you're just there.
You're there for the fanfare.
Nekoma, you got a long history of going to nationals, but it ain't gonna be fucking you winning nationals.
So, did they know in Chihayafuru?
I don't think they did, but they don't have an advisor, and the best person who would know is Chihaya, and she's literally not smart.
Sometimes we can literally just be dumb.
I mean, yeah. If you're pretty and you already got 2 boys who are very smart going after you, then what's the point of being smart?
So the going to nationals, can we have an 80s makeover sequence of where we go in the dressing room, comes out in a national outfit, and our friends go, girlfriend.
I do wish more shows did that. It's cute.
It's such an 80s, 90s thing, but
I know, it's so cute. Because you'll see them in outfits you'll never see them in. They don't do that. But Chihaya's mom buys her a kimono. This is a big moment. Hand motions, gestures. Because, again, when we talked about in season 1, Chihaya doesn't feel like her parents really support her, but she gets little glimpses that they do support her. And Chihaya's parents are very financially not good.
Unstable.
They're not as well off as everyone else. So she literally has to go on what do you call it? A payment system? Where you
No, I know what you're talking about. The layaway?
something like that.
Payment plan?
Yeah, something like that. So, but because Chihaya getting a kimono for her Karuta tournaments, it just means hey, we're gonna invest in you. Because I think when you get really high up, you have to wear a kimono.
The jitsies, we see everyone in actual kimonos and everyone doesn't just have a casual t-shirt.
Oh yeah, when you get to the Meijin and Queen fights, they're in kimonos. And Shinobu, the current queen, she's in very nice kimono because I think her grandmother is incredibly rich. Okay, so they go to the first nationals tournament, and this is where you see some of the strategic part of it. So Tsutomu and Hanano are scouting other teams. They're seeing oh, what's their strategy when they play? Who do they send out? What gimmicks do they do?
We should have a character that count cards in 21. Okay, I know this verse has to come up because it's the only one that wasn't said.
You know what? Actually, Taichi starts doing that in this season. season.
Oh.
So Taichi is the really smart one. Okay, so Chihaya is the fast one. Arata is like the smooth one, but Taichi's the smart one where he's like, okay, this has been said, so I don't have to worry about this poem being said. I know this poem has to be next. There's like a high chance of this poem, so I'm gonna focus on this side. Very interesting. I actually really like this part.
What's the benefit of being smooth?
The benefit of being smooth is not wasting movement.
Oh, so he's technically fast too.
In one sense, yes, but they do really emphasize in the show that there is a difference between fast and smooth. Because I think like Shinobu, she's not the fastest, but she will move her hand in the shortest distance. So like I think like technically Chihaya could get to the card first, but Shinobu like beelines her hand, and because she like uses the tip of her hand to hit the card, she gets the point.
So would I have any benefit if I slatted my hand in like gravy and became smooth like that?
You know, in one sense.
Because when else I slap the card, my gravy would touch the card first.
Nah, the gravy wouldn't count as touching.
You have to hit it away.
You have to hit away, and you don't have to hit just the card you want. If you hit away 5 cards and one of those cards is it, then you get the point.
If this was a shonen sport anime, you know there would be a guy who uses his feet.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
If that was allowed.
Oh, in shonen sports anime, anything's allowed.
There is strategy though where you can just hit all your cards.
I would do that the whole time. I would flip the table and win.
Well, you can't because sometimes you would get faulted.
Oh.
Because either it's not on your side, then you can't do that. And I think you could technically hit all your opponent's cards too. But then that takes much longer because they're farther away from you.
I'm sorry, I just had the idea of hitting your opponent.
They do contact hands.
It's that Family Guy scene where Peter's like, oh, Lois is like taking candy from a baby. And you do a cutaway gag and like he tries to just take the candy, but the mom keeps slapping his hand away.
Like, this shit ain't easy. That joke is embedded in our brains. So, I mean, this is okay, right? It's just like them being in nationals. Tsutomu was like scouting, and that pisses off Porky because he's like, why aren't you playing? And Tsutomu's like, because I'll give more value to the team by scouting the other team. And Porky's like, well, you just don't care about Karuta. But then they have this nice scene where like, as they're like going into the room, he gives them advice on how to fight the next team, and that advice helps them to win that round. But Tsutomu does have to play because Kanade hurt her hand and she couldn't keep playing, so Tsutomu had to take her place, which is also very cute because in season 1 they didn't have any backups. So in season 2 they have backups to like help each other because it's so long and not everyone has the stamina to like keep going through like, I think like 5 rounds. Takes a lot of work. Now I know what you're asking. What's Arata doing at this national tournament? Well, 1, he only participates in individual tournaments, so he can't participate in a school one, but he meets a middle school friend who goes to a different school and they only have a 2-man team.
How do you get to nationals?
They might be the only one in their region.
Oh, okay.
So technically they need a minimum of 3 players. The other 2 that aren't there will just be counted as lost. But if their 3 can win, then they can continue going. But the 3rd member was late. So the friend said, Arata, since you're not competing in team, why don't you play with me and my friend? And just so that way we can play around, because I don't expect you to win.
I just need you to wear gaucho glasses so they don't know you're not our friend.
They took off his glasses, and he is very nearsighted.
Why did they make him play with a handicap?
Because if he played as good as he does, then they would know.
Okay, gotcha.
And also, someone that knows Arata was like moderating the thing. So without his glasses and playing shitty, people couldn't really catch who he was. And he was playing shitty, and they get to this point where like one of the members lose. So it's like, okay, they're like set, they're done, they can't win. But for Arata felt bad. I think he felt bad for the opponent. I think he felt bad for the game of Karuta that he wasn't playing his best. So he puts on the glasses and he like beats like a 10 lead game. And they're like, fucking Arata, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Get out of here.
Because it's illegal.
He's going to jail.
There's kind of a drama at this point because it's like they have to figure out what they're going to do because since he did this, they are thinking of not letting him play in individuals.
Me looking out the window at this sport that cannot be professional and you're putting this many strict rules. Like, if he can't play an individual, there's literally nowhere else he can play.
Oh, so this is a conflict, right? He shouldn't play for breaking the rules. However, the current Meijin is this college student who keeps repeating college, and he's like in his 5th year. And they're like, this isn't a good role model for the Meijin, but the only one who could beat him is probably Arata. So we're gonna, let it slide. Although I think they make him write like an essay.
They did with Bart Simpson. I will not play in group battles. I mean, the problem was that he didn't go to the same school, right?
Yeah, he's not their school. He's not registered to play with them. Okay. And then so like back to Chihaya and her team. They're in the last match. They're about to like win nationals, but Chihaya hurts her finger. It gets like this contact with like the both moving at such speeds. She hurts herself. And they say, okay, then you can't play in the individual tournament.
But it's okay. We have backups this time.
No, individual is just her.
Oh yeah, okay.
And Chihiya's like, well, fuck that. I'm still gonna play. And we find out that Arata wants to go to Tokyo for college. So he told his parents that if I win the individuals, let me go to Tokyo for college. His parents are even worse off than Chihaya's parents. And they live in the sticks, the sticks of Japan, I guess. And so they're like, no. Well, obviously they say yes.
If you get that scholarship, boy.
Yeah, I think that's what the banking is that because like it's already been established that if you do really well in Karuta, then you can go to like any college you want. And so it'll be so good. I assume Arata's a smart kid because he has glasses, but I have no idea what his grades are. Because they say Taichi's a genius. They say Tsutomu have really good grades. They say Chihaya's dumb as fuck. Okay, so this is what I love. Because Karuta, you're sitting like the Japanese style on your leg, and you basically just shoot your hand out and grab a card. Physically, really shouldn't be much except like the speed, the timing, the memorization, whatever. But because Chihaya hurt her right hand, she can't use it. And the doctor's like, no, don't play. You're just gonna make it worse. And you don't want to lose your finger.
Lose your finger.
Or hand, or, it's her finger that hurts, right?
I don't know why. It made me think of this scene. I forget what movie it is, but I believe Ryan Reynolds was in it, and it was the after credit scenes, and he's like, so, tell me how your wife is as a driver. And he's like, mm-mm. And, like, he mimics a car crash with his hands, and then he imitates an ambulance coming, going, ew, ew, oh, mm-mm.
That is the only funny joke of that movie. That movie, he's with Sandra Bullock. It's called Something Proposal.
I think it's The Proposal.
Maybe it takes place in Alaska. Betty White is the grandma of Sandra Bullock.
But no, so every time you say like there was a hand crash, I think about Ryan Reynolds doing that.
Literally the only funny joke. Oh, it's a good joke though. Okay.
It's an after credit scene, so that's the worst part.
I know, right? Like you watch that whole shitty movie for one funny after credit. Oh yeah, that's because like I think she's like she's not from America, and so they're just like gonna get married just so she could come live in America.
That's called a green card, kids.
But anyway, so what I was saying is like because Chihaya hurt her right hand, she has to learn how to play with her left hand, and then it just gives her a new perspective on how to play because she has to basically like try to mirror her right hand motion with her left and think like opposite.
There was an anime, I forget what it was, where like they were playing and then they were like, oh my god, this is the first time I'm fighting a left hand opponent. It's too much.
Haikyuu does that.
Maybe that was it.
So much Haikyuu references we make, and yet you still have only seen the first 2 seasons.
You won't let me watch season 3.
We have to rewatch the first 2 because I know you don't remember.
Let me rewatch the first 2 then.
You're the one.
You're the one who wants me to read the manga first before we watch the anime.
I never said that.
Oh, then we had a miscommunication there.
How about you're the one who wants us to watch Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I regret nothing. I want to watch that movie.
So she has to learn how to play with her left hand. Arata gets to play. Everyone gets to play, right?
Even that one mom MILF character.
She might be season 3.
Shit.
So
I love her.
But what happens is that in the 3rd round, Chihaya goes up against Shinobu again. And Chihaya loves playing against Shinobu, right? She's the current queen.
And Shinobu's like, I noticed that you have a handicap. And I hope this isn't that anime trope where fighting head to head and then you barely lose. If you didn't have that handicap, you would have won.
So what happens is Chihaya plays with her right hand.
Oh, okay.
And she said that she would only play with her right hand if she was going up against Arata. Taichi's not in the A class, so he doesn't count. He's in B class right now. But Chihaya loses.
That's so sad, but if you had to lose to anyone, it would have to be to a KNY character.
Oh my god, you're a piece of shit. You know who's also a very common Japanese name?
Kimetsu no Yaiba is more popular than Chihayafuru.
Chihayafuru definitely came out before Kimetsu no Yaiba.
You can't prove that.
I definitely can! Anyway, so Chihaya loses, and then when you get to the final round, Arata defeats Shinobu. However, then we get a Japanese trope that Shinobu had a fever, so she played a good game.
But she got so hot and heated from her fight with Chihaya.
I forget what it was. She was in the rain, and I forget why. me.
Oh yeah, I don't know why I associate Shinobu with that weird rain flower, hydrangeas.
Oh, not that she's always in the ring. It's just so. Oh, you know what happened? I think this is when, before the final match, she always likes to watch a plane show. But the plane show got rained out, so it was canceled. So she just had to walk in the rain back from the plane show to where they're having the tournament.
A plane?
Yeah, literally like planes. Not like airplanes. I forget what you call them, but like the Three Stooges kind of plane that do the loop-de-loops.
Those, the one that's skywriting?
Yeah, like they do a show.
When you said not that kind of plane, I thought you meant you was gonna say drones. Just watching them bring out the drones.
It wasn't this plane, it's like the plane of hell. And she couldn't watch it entertainment as people die.
I hope you know no one knows the Three Stooges reference you're talking about, the one where they walk on the plane.
You get it, you got it.
You could have said, the plane that Amelia Bedelia, the woman who, disappeared, flew.
Amelia Bedelia? What, isn't she a maid?
Amelia Earhart, I meant.
Anyway.
Or the Wright brothers.
I meant Wright brothers, but Three Stooges came out, so I was like, I'm gonna stick with it because I think it works still.
I mean, it does.
So Arthur wins, so he gets to go to Tokyo when he graduates.
No, he said this win means nothing because she has a fever. I denounced it.
Hell no, Arthur was like, I'm going to college in Tokyo.
I get to be with my girlfriend.
Basically, right?
Did the manga end at this point?
I don't know. I don't keep up with the manga. I'm like on chapter
because the artist of Case Closed drew that. Congrats on the manga.
Maybe it is over, and I can binge read it.
Binge.
Because I think season 3 actually ends really close to the end of the manga. But okay, and then Taichi wins his match, so now he's class A, and Tsutomu and Sukano wins, and that means fucking nothing.
That means the Tsubasa bros are gay.
Nah, I mean, I think it means they get to move up in class 2 or something, whatever.
Small tangent. I went to work and I wrote the word trans on a row. And it's like, oh, do you think people will know this means transparent because I ran out of space? And then I got called transphobic. And I don't understand that jump in logic, but I guess that's what I am now.
Really?
Like, it was a joke, but, it was still like, this wasn't even offensive.
It's just a description.
Like, if you think it's offensive I called this thing trans, then you have problems.
So, just to round out season 2, because I won't end it with Annie being transphobic.
I'm not transphobic. I'm like the least transphobic person in this damn house.
Prove it.
Alright, I want Tsutomu and Sukuma to kiss.
I don't think I didn't do anything. Anyways, so what we learned is that Chihaya didn't just hurt her finger. There's a tumor in her finger. I think it's on the bone. It's kind of funny because they go from like clinic to clinic and they all do an x-ray and they're like, I don't know what the fuck that is. You gotta go somewhere else.
I just imagine this is a Rookie of the Year situation. Well, that was a movie where this guy, he got a tumor, I think, on his elbow, but that made him really good at baseball. So he had a predicament of be like the best at baseball, but have a tumor in your elbow, or take the cancer out and then not be good at baseball.
Did he keep it?
I don't know what happened.
Damn it, Annie, you can't give these premises and not the final conclusion. But basically, Chihaya goes to like a big hospital, which,
like Taichi's paying. Oh no, Japan has a free healthcare.
Right, basically, right? And the doctor's like, I think it's a tumor. It's fucking rare, and you need surgery, girl. And when you get the surgery, you may never be able to play Karuta. And
Is
she's
this
like,
stupid? Or is this like legit?
No, this is legit. I'm just making it sound kind of stupid, but like for her, this might be the end of her career.
But how do you get a tumor in there?
How do you get a tumor anywhere?
It's giving me Kuroko no Basket vibes.
So Chihaya doesn't know what to do, and she like calls Arata. And this is a beautiful moment because like she like never calls Arata except like one time, but I'll say something stupid. And it's just like them talking like friends. And Taichi comes, but he like sees that she's calling Arata, and he's kind of it's kind of like implying that like, oh, why didn't she call me? And then Kanade is like, oh my god, I ship Chihaya and Taichi so hard. But, I mean, it's pretty freaking obvious. And so Arata kind of tells Chihaya, hey, don't worry about it. You should do the surgery. Just think about your happy place. And she was like, I don't have that. Like what's your happy place? And he's like, oh, well, my happy place was in the crappy apartment that I was living when I was in Tokyo, and I was playing Karuta with you.
Jesus.
Right? Like it's
this.
So cute.
You just put a stamp on it. This ship has sailed.
I get so canon. And then like when we talk about season 3 in a couple of weeks, it's like it's so canon that it hurts for Taichi. And I mean the season ends with basically she does the surgery. She's like okay. And then she and Taichi go to a training camp at like this better school that like has like an actual trainer, a teacher who's like been to nationals before.
Sports equipment, not related to Chihayafuru, but you know, it's there.
They're like lifting people.
They have those things that sumo wrestlers hit with their hands to make it faster.
What?
Yeah, it's like a wooden post.
Oh, okay.
You just hit it with your palm.
Yeah, so that's basically season 2. It's them in the second year as high schoolers playing Karuta with more people and like establishing that like actually it doesn't really establish anything. The second season is kind of more bland compared to the first two because the first one everything's fresh and new and the third one is filled with drama.
Okay, wait. So the second one, would you say wasn't necessary?
It wasn't necessary. I think like the show has a flow and for it to go from like first to third it needed this like a low moment, you know, like you know every show has its levels and so this one is just like establishing more about like how Chihaya and Taichi become better players and how Arata is like getting back into the notion of playing Karuta after like a 6-year hiatus.
And with that, before we move on to season 3 next episode, okay, which is better? An OC who is a sumo wrestler and like he slapped the card but it's so strong like his opponent can't even go near that card when he slaps down. Or a character with a sticky hand to like, you know, sling at the card and then get it.
That helps no one, the sticky hand, so clearly the sumo wrestler.
Alright.
Bye.